So some of the things that our clients have come to expect from us are we assign a virtual CIO to every account. We help them develop 3-year strategic roadmaps. We assist with any type of tech purchase assistance. So if you plug anything into the wall, please reach out to us. We like to help with that. We aspire to be the trusted technology advisor of choice. Next slide. And on the IT consulting side, we've seen the good, the bad, and the ugly of business application systems. So with experience we bring to the table, and including my personal experience as a CPA with 30 years of experience as a CPA, I've seen a lot of different system implementations I've had a hand in, and definitely see how things have evolved. Right now with the big switch to the cloud, a lot of people are finding that the only thing keeping them from being without physical offices and physical servers is their business application system. So that's why we feel Acumatica is a terrific fit. Next slide. One of the reasons we picked Acumatica is similar to our approach to the market. They also have a customer bill of rights. I applaud them for their ethical business practices. Here at Skyriver IT, you can expect all our communications to be in plain English. We don't use any technical jargon. You have the right to get your issues resolved within the first call. So first-time resolution is a big deal for us. We set a goal of 95% for resolving any technical issues. And you have the right to speak to a live technician whenever you need help. So we offer 24/7 support. As you can see, Acumatica also believes in many of the same things and also has added some additional items here to their list of customers' bill of rights that put them ahead of a lot of other solutions out there in the market. Next slide. So we're all experiencing a transition from business as usual pre-pandemic to what is now considered digital business. So a lot of companies were already at a point where they were struggling with whether to keep things in-house or move to the cloud. And I think what's happened is the pandemic has really accelerated the pace of implementation. And if anybody's tried to buy a laptop recently, you can see that things are a little tight on the supply chain side still, but as businesses start to ramp up, hopefully having your business with all of its technology in the cloud will give you a leg up over the competition. Next slide. So Acumatica is a solution that's been born for the cloud, built for the cloud. A lot of the things that we see here with this solution is that it really opens up the door to really manage your business as a 21st century business in the new digital economy. Next slide. That means that you can access your information regardless of device. You can wake up in the morning, check your smartwatch, work on your smartphone. You get into the office, you work on your desktop. You go home in the evening or go out to a client meeting and you take your laptop or notepad. And it's also enabled to work with Alexa and Siri with natural voice commands. Next slide. A little bit about what you get with every system. This is the basic general business edition. So starting at the top, it comes with advanced financials. So a quick way to see an integrated accounting system, how it works. It provides audit trail. So as opposed to other solutions on the market where you can just delete transactions and they're basically unauditable. This is a full accounting system that has audit trail, so you won't have to run into those issues with your auditors. You can also manage all your customer relationships within the solution. It comes with a number of built-in dashboards and reporting. They come right out of the box. You can also add project accounting, if that is something that fits into your business. or payroll. There's the opportunity to do your payroll accounting in-house if you'd like. And also, again, the fact that it doesn't matter where you're working from, you have access to all your information. These same principles hold true for all of the solutions, and there are a number of different editions. We'll see that on the next slide. So general business edition's the one we just covered. There's also specific solutions depending on the industry that you're operating in. So the construction edition, distribution edition, manufacturing, and e-commerce. There's also solutions for field service businesses. Previously, it was an edition. Now it's treated as a separate module. Next slide. So you have the option of either having your service provided to you through a SaaS solution. So it's software as a service hosted in the AWS cloud, or you can also have it in your private cloud with Microsoft Azure. Those are two options. And there's a third option. If you still have on-premise hardware, servers that have useful life still, you can just have this installed on an on-premise server application and access it that way. Next slide. As well as all the functionality that comes in the box, there's out-of-the-box functionality that we call these bolt-ons, and they're basically different solutions that integrate with the Acumatica business application system to provide your system with greater functionality and the ability to really work with some of the top companies in different verticals that have different interface, and the information will all tie back into the same system on the back end, so that you can go to the graphical user interface of choice and still manage to get everything done and have all the data piped directly into your accounting system. Next slide. Security has become quite an issue during the pandemic. So we've seen a pandemic of cybersecurity as well. And this is something that we can definitely say that it is really good to have multi-factor authentication and all of the security measures that are put in place by Acumatica in its hosted software as a service solution. Next slide. You also have access to all your information. So one of the biggest challenges over time has been that it's easy enough to get the data into the system. It's very hard to pull information, out of the system. And what Acumatica has done is they've built all the back end on SQL databases. So you have the ability to run SQL queries, access to all the tables with all of your data and information. All is available to you to access as you need to better understand your business and to analyze KPIs and the performance of your business. Next slide. Another thing that's very attractive about Acumatica is the licensing model. So once you bring Acumatica in-house, what you are faced with is that you can open it up to everybody in your organization. There is no per seat charge as opposed to other solutions that are on the market. This is a very attractive solution. So you don't have to necessarily phase your organization in. You can pretty much flip the switch and have your whole company go live with Acumatica at once. And you are charged based on the amount of resources that are allocated to you based on your transactional volumes. So based on the number of invoices that you're generating to your customers and based on the number of bills you receive from your vendors, those two things go into a formula, and we are able to size up the right level of resources, depending on also the number of users you have, so that you experience the best performance out of the system. Next slide. There's also the added advantage of free training. Unlike a lot of competitors in the space, that is a profit center for a lot of competitors. With Acumatica, the training is free. There's an Acumatica University, and you can access any number of training programs directly. If you also would like to have instructor-led training, that is available, but at an additional cost. Next slide. And with that, I'll shift gears and hand it off to Robbie, who's going to tell you a little bit about customer satisfaction.
Yeah, thanks, Rudy. Well, I'm going to jump back in here and show you all a few slides where Acumatica currently ranks against other ERP systems. So in this first slide here, this graph is by G2, which is the largest tech marketplace for software reviews by real users. In this 2021 report, you can see that Acumatica ranked highest in customer satisfaction. They also ranked #1 in momentum out of 11 leading ERP systems. And pretty much what momentum is it's a rating based on employee growth, review growth, revenue growth, and social growth with the system in place. So it's pretty good ranking here. Next slide. And on this slide here, according to Nucleus Research, which is the leading provider of investigative IT research and advisory services, out of 22 vendors, Acumatica was rated highest in usability against a field of well-established competitors in the ERP space. Next slide. And here we have IDC, who is the premier global provider of market intelligence, advisory services, and events for the technology industry. And as you can see, they ranked Acumatica a leader in the mid-market cloud ERP. And this graph is based on two primary categories. We have capabilities and strategies. So the y-axis pinpoints the vendor's current capabilities and menu of services and how well aligned the vendor is to customers' current needs. And the x-axis indicates how well the vendor's future strategy aligns with what customers will acquire in 3 to 5 years to like their growth plan. And as you can see, they placed Acumatica in the leaders category, positioning it above Microsoft, Oracle NetSuite, and Sage Intacct. Next. All right, so we're going to shift gears here and show you a little bit of Acumatica Live with a little demo. And Jake Del Doso's on the call, and I want to pass it over to him, and he'll start sharing his screen and take it from there.
Excellent. Thank you, Robert. Give me one moment while I just go ahead and start presenting my screen. Alrighty. Should be able to see my screen now with this Acumatica login page. But before I get started here, my name is Jake Del Doso, as I mentioned before. A little background on myself. I've been with Skyriver IT for about 3 years. Most recently, or previously, I was at a cybersecurity company where I worked pretty intimately with a different ERP system, and dealt with a lot of the day-to-day tasks that most people encounter with an ERP system. What we got really excited about here at Skyriver IT is Acumatica itself is a cloud-based ERP solution, as Rudy mentioned earlier. So it's born in the cloud and built for the cloud. So your data can be accessed from anywhere, whether it be your web browser or even your mobile device. So what I'm going to do here is go ahead and log in. I've got my admin username saved here, but we do provide the option for two-factor authentication for both your mobile app and for your web-based instance. I'm going to go ahead and sign in. And as you can see here, there's a lot of information. First few things I want to point out is that Acumatica is a multi-tenant and a multi-currency based solution. So I can manage my entire organization and all my branches within one solution. So it really kind of drives and pushes all that data together for you. So at the top level here, you can see that I have a lot of widgets and a variety of dashboards available to me based on what data I need to see or what I need to deliver to my end users. So the first one here is more a controller dashboard, something you can see from a per customer basis. I see my orders to ship is in green, my late orders are in red. So a lot of this data can be color coded and changed and presented like in bold facing in order to, convey certain messages to your end users so they can react to data and, be more efficient in the day-to-day. Within these dashboards, I can actually narrow down the data that I see in real time without having to generate another report. So let's say I have a specific customer I want to narrow down this information for. I can select my customer ID, let's say Alta Ace is my test customer here, and you can see a lot of this data changes in real time. So I can drill down into these different aspects of, let's say, like orders to ship for my Alta Ace customer and select it. One thing you'll notice is that I just selected a tile here, and it opened up in a new tab. Acumatica allows you to work in different sections of the system without having to lose your place or to lose whatever you were working on. So this really emphasizes the usability of the product and how easy it is to work with. There's also this side tab option that allows you to essentially have a second window within the system so you can manipulate certain sections of data, whether it's in an invoice or an order to ship, and change whatever you might need to change on the fly. So to talk a little bit more about the dashboards, there's quite a few dashboards, there's hundreds of dashboards that are available to you right out of the box with Acumatica that you might find useful for your different roles. Acumatica is a role-based solution, so you have different roles and different dashboards options presented to those roles when they log in. So everyone's not going to see the same options that, let's say, a controller would have or a CFO would have. You can see here the dashboards that are provided. I have one for finance, I have one for projects, distribution, manufacturing. There's a vast amount of dashboards that are available to you within the system. Not just only within the web browser, you can also look at your solution on the mobile app. So what I'm going to do is pull up my phone here. Let's see if it'll still cast for me. Should be able to see my device here. Looks like my little cast timed out here, so I'm just going to go ahead and start my broadcast. It should just show up here in just a moment. And I'll go ahead and pull my phone over. Alrighty. So as you can see here, I've got my Acumatica application available to me, so I'm going to go ahead and select it. And this is generally I would integrate with two-factor authentication. Right now I have Face ID set up, so I'm going to go ahead and sign in with my Face ID. So it's nice to kind of play along with the security system that I have built into my phone. As you can see here, I have quite a variety of options available to me on my mobile device, similar to what I already have in my web instance. So just to kind of show you guys how this works, let's say in this scenario, I'm a sales guy out in the field, or I'm at a trade show and I just stayed at a hotel and I have to provide an expense report. I'm going to go ahead and just select the expense report here on the top, and I'm going to register my hotel stay. The first thing you'll see is this little picture option. What I can do is take a picture of the receipt that I have. In this case, this is actually from my lunch I had a few days ago for a hot dog and a slice of pizza, but for the sake of demonstration, let's just pretend it's a hotel receipt. I can manipulate how the receipt looks. Next. And done. I'll provide a description for my stay. Let's say it's a Hampton stay. My expense item, which is what I have preloaded in the back end of Acumatica. So I'm assuming this is a hotel, or it's an accommodation, I guess. So hotels and lodging, I'll go ahead and select that as my expense item. And my amount, let's say it was $285 to stay at the hotel or at the Hampton. And I can provide any additional data I might need for this expense report, like the project that was used, whether it's billable to the client or a specific customer. But in this case, I'm just going to hit done so I can associate that expense report with my account. So I'm going to hit save here as well. And to kind of demonstrate some of this, the cloud behavior, I like to show you guys how fast this shows up on for, let's say, a controller or for whoever's the HR, whoever's going to be processing these expense reports. I can go over to my time and expenses section, look at my expense receipts, and I should see at the very top that my Hampton stay is there. And if the date's for today, my Hampton stay is for $285. So Acumatica is really that real time. You can change your data, submit data, and it will all show up in real time for any and all of your users, which I think is pretty fantastic. So to show additional features here, let's talk about sales orders. You know, I'm still a sales guy. I want to generate a sales order. Let's say I'm out in the field. What I'll do here is I'll show you guys how a sales order will be processed. Now, I know you probably noticed a couple of these tiles here at the top. A lot of this information is customizable because, let's say I'm a sales guy. I have very few things I want to use. I have a little star next to sales orders. What this does is it adds it to my favorite section. Just like you would with your web browser, I can add things to my favorites and manipulate and run from my favorite section with any of the common tasks I might have. So you see here, I'm going to hit a new sales order. And as it loads here, I'm going to go and select my customer. Let's go stick with that Alta Ace customer that I have here. And these fields will actually search for me in real time, which is really nice. I've added my customer, and another unique feature of Acumatica is this add stock item. I found with other legacy solutions it's a bit harder to find out my inventory. So the nice thing about Acumatica is that we'll actually present you with your inventory in real time. As you can see here, I have the inventory for all of the items I'm looking to sell, and my quantity available, and even based on which warehouse, which location my devices are in. So it's really helpful to, depending on where I want to ship things from, or where this customer might be, in order to provide a lower shipping cost. But in this case, let's say I'm choosing at least a laptop computer. I can select this and hit add and close. But another feature I want to point out is the sold since. The sold since option will actually pull up a list of previously sold items for that specific client, and allow me to kind of react based on, oh, okay, previously I gave them a break on this laptop at a certain amount, or I gave them a break on, my Lego 500-piece set. When they bought 3, I gave them a different break. So it allows us to kind of, honor some previous discounts that I provided to the client previously. So let's go ahead and select my laptop. I'm gonna hit add and close. As you can see here, it's kind of filled out that line item for me. You can change this data in real time too. So if I wanted to update my quantity, I could. Let's say if I wanted to add 5. I went up to 5 for my laptops, and my unit price stuck at 500, but changed to 475 after I changed the quantity to 5, because I've put in logic into Acumatica to provide certain price breaks based on quantities purchased. But let's say they changed their mind and they wanted the 35. I can up this quantity to 35. And wait, I have a small exclamation point. It's because I'm out of laptops. I only have 27 available at that location. So Acumatica is going to give me feedback on my inventory as I'm trying to create an order, which is pretty powerful as far as trying to process orders on the fly, whether on your mobile device or even in the browser. To go even further, Acumatica also offers this upload functionality, so you can choose, let's say, a purchase order that a client has sent to you. So in this case, I have a demo purchase order, so I'm going to select that and upload. Looks like my browser froze up there for a second. One moment. There we go. Now I'll go ahead and provide a name for this purchase order. So I'm going to call it like PO20. What Acumatica does is it allows you to map the the rows and columns within that sales order or the purchase order to the field and the column names that you have within Acumatica. So in this case, this is I know this is the item description or line of the inventory ID, excuse me. And then I've got my line description, which is the Acer laptop, and my quantity. And I'm going to go ahead and let Acumatica map all these fields for me. And what this is doing is it's eliminating the aspect of human error. So, having to key in individual orders and find it and check against inventory. Acumatica is doing this all for you in real time. Again, eliminating human error and saving a lot of time. Now, there's another option here at the top that I haven't really touched on, which is very powerful for Acumatica. It's their universal search function. Let's say I'm doing a sales order and they ask me about, oh, hey, did we ever get our 1099 or did you get our 1099 for Alta Ace? What I could do is then kind of come up to my Acumatica search function and search for 1099 in real time. So I can search across my entire instance for like menu items if I need to react to things, transactions, and even files if I had a 1099 file that I'd received and uploaded to some kind of project or instance for my client. I can search and find these things fairly quickly without having to generate reports or just search through a mountain of data in order to present this stuff. The last little section I want to jump into here, because there's quite a bit, and I don't want to take up too much of everyone's time, is the reports. I know that's a fairly big thing for most individuals, especially accounts payable individuals, CFOs. They want to be able to see reports and data in real time. And what Acumatica does is it makes the data yours. It makes it so you can manipulate data, drill down into data, and really see what you need to see in real time without having to generate individual reports for every little thing you need to do. So for the first, let's check out profit and loss. And again, obviously, I would be only the finance individuals be able to see this, whoever I've provided access to this section. So if I click on the profit and loss here, it's going to wipe away my sales order. We're okay with that. Let's run a small profit and loss report here. I can select a template if necessary. I'll go ahead and hit run report. And you can see pretty quickly I've been presented with all of the data that I'm looking for my profit and loss. My total revenue here, I can see it's provided me with $18 million, and don't know how I got that much, but I can click on this data specifically and see what's driving these values. And that's what's really great about Acumatica, is that I can click on these values and then see what is driving those values. So even within this section here, I can actually click on these individual values as well and provide myself with the data that's driving those individual values. So it's great for needing to react in real time, or to present data in real time to someone that needs to know this information quickly. To go a little farther here, let's talk about maybe a balance sheet. So under finance, let's see if we can find our balance sheet here. Let's see what that looks like. Again, you can generate different templates as you see fit to run these reports for executives or whoever they may be. But as you spot out that report fairly quickly, and I can, just like here, I can click on these individual numbers and see what drives those values. And again, I can do this from my mobile device or even from the web browser. It's fairly vast. And the last little report I can show you is this profit and loss rolling 12 month. I can change this, again, based on my organization or maybe one of my warehouses if I need to see specific data for one of those like individual instances or individual locations. But again, you can see I spot out my data pretty quickly, and I've got rows and rows of data that I can react on or converse with based on what I need to do. To kind of wrap this up, I want to touch back on the widgets and the dashboards, because there's Acumatica is such a powerful ERP system that most individuals know how ERPs function, but what Acumatica does at the end of the day is present you or your users with data and actionable data, things that you need to see on a day-to-day basis that allow you to react and work more efficiently throughout your day. So thank you very much for looking at Acumatica with me. Again, my name is Jake. I'm going to pass this back over to Robert and let him kind of close things up. But thank you very much. If you have any questions at all, feel free to reach out to us.
Thanks, Jake. That was a great demo you did there. You can pull up the Q&A slide real quick, and if anyone has any questions about anything we went over today, feel free to unmute your mic and say it out loud, or just throw it in the chat, and we can kind of answer those for you.
Does this software support multiple language besides English?
Yes, there's customizations for language packs depending on what you need to put in there, and it's available.
Thanks.
Sure. While everybody's thinking of questions to ask, if you can just put your questions through the chat, and then I'll take the opportunity to just give a little bit more background on Skyriver IT. So we've been, again, in the San Diego area for 10 years. We've been kind of growing with our customers in this area and helping them find solutions that are, the right fit for them. What is a claim to fame for us is that we do not try to fit a square peg in a round hole. By that, I mean, a lot of companies will show up and want to do your IT or your systems, and they show up with a given tool set. What we do is we kind of try to help our clients understand what's available out there and help them select the best solution for them. So as opposed to just kind of pigeonholing you and trying to put you into a specific solution, we keep kind of those options open, because we understand there's lots of ways to skin a cat in this business, and we want to make sure that we are picking the right solution for our clients. So no square pegs and round holes, no showing up with a predetermined toolkit to try to force a solution. So I think that's a valuable thing to add here. And then again, if you have any questions, please submit them through the chat.
Also going off that, if anyone had any problems with their Grubhub vouchers, they should have been emailed to you last night. If you for some reason didn't get that, I put my email in the chat, and you can just send me an email after this meeting today, and I will take care of it for you. So if everyone's enjoying their lunch.
All right, well, if we're not getting any questions, you can kind of wrap this up early, but it is available. You know, you can just reach out to us at any point in time. We can, you know, answer your questions. Here's some contact information. We feel that Acumatica is a terrific solution for those companies that are looking to get off of something like a QuickBooks solution to something that's a lot better functionality, auditable, and purpose-built for the cloud. We understand there's a lot of options for our clients out there, and so we appreciate you spending the time with us today to explore this solution. We'll keep this open for another few minutes here, but if you know,
Yeah.
go ahead.
Thanks. Yeah. One more question.
Go ahead.
How easy to add more module or more functionality? So we had to get their people sort of build the mod specific for us, or there's some more off-shelf module you can add additional functionality.
Yeah, so we did have a slide on that earlier in the deck. Robbie, if you want to kind of try to find that slide with all of the bolt-ons, that's one way to add additional functionality. The ability to integrate with all these other applications that are on the market. Here's just a sampling. And then there's also additional solutions that are provided within the Acumatica partner network. So there are partners that have developed specific solutions for specific needs as well. So these are some of the bigger names that you might recognize here, but there are a number of you know, additional solutions that have been created that provide additional functionality.
Yeah, thanks. Pretty helpful. This is an integration with the other software. I'm more like talking about within Acumatica themselves. If I want to twist some of their module and their features, or add some new, I don't know how easy. It's something the customer can do themselves, or they had to send their software engineer to do that for us.
Yeah. So the way we work with that is we recommend that our clients try to implement the solution first, what we call a vanilla out-of-the-box implementation. That'll help most businesses adopt new best practices and changes to their process. With that, if it's still not meeting your needs, then what we do is we evaluate first bolt-on solutions as another alternative, and then there's a final step where if you need a customization, Acumatica is actually a solution that I like to call more Microsoft than Microsoft. So it's actually got it's been coded in C#, which is Microsoft's coding language. It has SQL on the back end, and basically, you know, you can customize the software using C#.
Got you. All right, thanks.
Sure, you're welcome.
Yeah.
I see that we have some more questions here. What size firm would you say is your sweet spot? Well, I think the generic answer for that is typically people that have kind of outgrown whatever solution they have right now in place. And so that ranges anywhere from a small, there are small business versions of Acumatica that are up to like 5 people. That's the entry level, I'd say, and that's a replacement for QuickBooks. And then they have basically the advanced and the enterprise versions that will work with companies that are thousands of people. So it does cover, you know, all the gamut of different size companies. But right now, I'd say that, you know, in our experience, Skyriver IT has worked with companies more or less under 100 people, and closer to the 25 to 50 is our sweet spot. Is there a free demo for Acumatica that we can use just to have a feel of the software? There are a number of different ways to get on a free demo. We can provide access to our demo environment for interested parties. So that is something we can arrange. So absolutely, you can get on a demo and play around with it. All right, well, I don't see any more questions here. We'll give it another, 30 seconds, but if you're hesitating to ask a question, just remember the only question the only dumb question is the one that doesn't go asked, I think. And I probably mangled that. That's Confucius, but there's no such thing as a dumb question.
And based on that sweet spot question, usual the employee size for Acumatica is around 25 to 250 employees. Typical what customers are doing right now. So a little more info on that. Yeah, so this meeting is being recorded, and we were gonna post it on our YouTube later today. So I can notify everyone once that gets up there, and you can rewatch it at your convenience.
All right, well, if there's no further questions, Robbie, why don't we wrap this up?
Yeah, well, I want to thank you all. Oh, questions. Yeah, there's no more questions. So I want to thank you all for coming today, and I hope you learned something new and enjoyed your lunch by Grubhub. And like I said again, reach out to me if you didn't get that. I want to make sure everyone who is here today gets their free lunches. And I want to wish everyone a happy 4th of July weekend coming up, and I'll be sending out those recordings soon via email. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for your time, everybody. Have a wonderful weekend.